evening, my fellow entities, and welcome to the Lair Film Room. Tonight, we will be reviewing Hocus Pocus 2. Three young women accidentally bring back the Sanderson sisters to modern-day Salem, and must figure out how to stop the children hungry witches from wreaking havoc on the world. Now, for those who have been with this channel since the beginning, a few of you might remember that we did the original Hocus Pocus movie as our Halloween review for, 3, maybe 4 years ago, so say 2019 to 2018. And since I just watched the movie, I kinda gotta say that I might be a bit more lenient on the movie now. Now, I'd also like to thank, again, Cameron Scott, who did that review with me, and who was my partner during 2018 and 2019, and I really miss having him as a partner. He was really good, and he was an amazing guy, and one day, hopefully, we will be able to do another episode again. I really miss you, Cameron. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, he seemed to be really into this movie, and for me, I didn't really care for the first one, if you guys remember. I thought it was way too cheesy. The Sanderson sisters were a little too goofy for me, except for the delightful sister who is played by Sarah Jessica Parker. She was Sarah Sanderson. Okay, wow, being real creative with the character names. But yeah, I always liked Sarah. So when 2022's Hocus Pocus 2 was announced, I was kinda excited, but also I was kind of iffy because, again, I wasn't that big of a fan of the first one. Now, like I said, I just watched it, and I kinda like the Sanderson sisters a lot more in this one. Like, I know a lot of people are gonna say they're very similar to what they were in the original movie, how they're just as goofy, they're just as much as fish out of water as any other character in media. They're still the child-hungry witches that you remember from the first movie. But let's be honest. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathleen Najimy have definitely gotten better over the years. Like, they have definitely improved their acting, and they just had a lot more fun playing the Sanderson sisters in this movie. Like, they are so delightful. I mean, just from the Walgreens scene, watching the characters try to eat beauty products and just commenting on how a face mask looks like a child's face and it tastes like raspberries was pretty hilarious. I mean, I did kind of cringe a bit, but also I found it pretty fucking funny. I also liked the whole big thing with the Roombas, where I thought it was cute, and when I saw them in the trailer, I was kind of like, okay, I see what they're doing. They're trying to use modern technology again, like they did in the original with the vacuum and the broom and the mop, where now it's now one of them's riding two Roombas, like as if they're skates. The other one's riding a Swiffer or a Shark, whatever the heck mop that was. And the other one, again, is going with the original broom. But I kind of liked it because it's trying to do something that I really enjoyed from the original, where they were learning about modern technology. I mean, there was literally your typical Alexa joke where someone will get confused by quote-unquote little people being trapped in a television or an Alexa or a computer.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Really? There is a small woman trapped in that box. Oh, yes.
I still don't understand. Is there something else I can do for you?
Or a phone, and this time it was a lot more funny because you've got Alexa talking to them and they just think, oh shit, someone's been trapped in this tiny box. And it kind of gets you thinking, how many times have the Sanders sisters actually done something similar to that? Like, it's a clever joke. Also, again, Sarah Jessica Parker has her weird moments, like when Winifred tells them to spread out, and she spreads out throughout the hallway as like a gymnastic joke. I also kind of liked Mary a bit more here. She was a lot less annoying than she was in the original. Like, the moment in the Walgreens where she's just staring at the two girls and she's just so obsessed with wanting to eat them, and she's making jokes, and she's just gathering the two girls to come eat with them in the beauty product aisle, and it's funny. Like, a lot of people are giving this movie shit, and a lot of people are attacking it and saying, oh, it's just doing the same thing, or they're not that funny, or it's watered down because they didn't have as much virgin jokes, or, I don't know, jokes about having sex, like with the bus driver in that movie. But let's be honest, this is very similar to your typical Disney Channel original movie, where it's fun, it's interesting. Okay, so a lot of people pick on the idea of, well, I say a lot of people, but people like 3C Films and the Angry Joe Show picked on them for using potpourri and instantly having magical powers, but if you think about it, they kind of explain this a bit more during the beginning of the movie when we see the young Sanderson sisters and they get exiled because Winifred tries not to, or doesn't want to marry this guy that the entire town is trying to force her to, and they try to take her sisters away. So because of a spider attacking the Reverend, they leave and they go into the abandoned woods where the last fight or the ending of the first movie took place, and they're given a book by this much more older witch who's been around longer than them, and during this whole sequence, it's Winifred's birthday and she just turned 16. So if you guys know Wiccan or witch lore, it's believed that when you turn 16 or you start becoming an adult, you suddenly get your powers. Like, they kind of did this with The Craft, or they did it with Halloween Town, where they did the same thing with Marnie and whatever the girl from The Craft's name is, where, yes, they have powers, they've been lying dormant for years, and now that they're able to use them, they now have to find a covenant. Where with The Craft, it turned out to be that the Covenant just wanted to do evil things, and that they were all jerks, and the main character learns that she's more powerful I kinda liked the main characters, albeit, again, they're your typical Disney protagonists, and it kind of feels like your typical Halloween movie or horror or modern horror movie where it's a group of kids trying to fight against a monster. I mean, they did it with It, they do it with Stranger Things, and, I mean, what can you do? I did kind of like the idea that they were using actual witchcraft, and that the belief was, because they'd done the ritual for years, they became actual witches, and they were decent, at best. Like, they're not the best acted main characters, but they were decent. I kinda liked Gilbert more because he was really goofy, and he actually had a part to play in this, despite being a side character where he was risking his life to go find all these ingredients, because if he didn't, and the timer ran out, he would die because the dumbass decided to bring back some of the most powerful witches in all of Salem, and he didn't think that maybe they'd double-cross him. I mean, really? On top of that, I did kind of like the music sequences. The one where they sing One Way or Another was pretty funny, and I did like how, similar to the first movie, they had the entire town dancing, but instead of having it where, like the first movie, that they're all gonna dance till they die, this time there's actually a purpose where they're dancing until they find the mayor, and they lead the Sanderson sisters to the mayor. I was kind of disappointed that the Sanderson sisters just got annoyed because they were moving way too slow because of this. I mean, it was kind of their fault because they put a dancing spell on them, and I don't think anyone would be too fast when they're dancing in the street. I definitely like the choreography from that. The first song with the Witches Were Back, it's decent, but it really didn't have any place here. I mean, I did find it funny that they're doing this to introduce themselves to the two teenagers. I did really like the ending credits where we got to hear the entire song, and we got to see the Sanderson sisters have a really fun time performing it. I kind of missed Billy, and I kind of enjoyed having him back. I just didn't really like the voice change. I kind of was annoyed at that when I heard it in the trailer. But also, I kind of feel like he didn't really have anything to do other than help Gilbert gain the ingredients. Where in the first movie, he was sent to go hunt down the main characters and bring them so the Sanderson sisters can eat the child's soul. Here he's just a cameo, pretty much, or side character like Gilbert's. Just a product from the original movie. I'm kind of sad that we never got a cameo from Danny, who said that the actress wanted to be a part of it, but she couldn't really get to the set. It was like a last minute thing, and they didn't really think ahead about it. And also there were scheduling conflicts, so that was kind of disappointing. We never got Allison or Danny's brother, whose name I completely forgot. But I get it. Scheduling conflicts, some of them might not have really been told about the movie or didn't really want to come back. Other than that, I also wanted to mention that I really enjoyed like the little meta joke that they did during the movie, where you see in the background the original movie playing in the background with the scene of the married couple, the guy dressed as the devil and the angel arguing, and I just thought it kind of funny because it's kind of a callback to when Halloween 3 did it with the original Halloween, and a lot of people criticize it, but also I kind of think of it as the older brother from the first movie became a big-time movie star and told the story and directed an exact retelling of the story, which actually kind of seems like pretty cool lore that I wish was explored a bit more. The side plot with the mayor was kind of boring and had no meaning to it other than giving us the great dance number and just, I don't know, introducing us to the daughter, and I didn't really care for the Reverend, who was played by the same guy at the beginning. He just felt way too mean-spirited and annoying. I did kind of like the ending where Winifred learned her lesson about how she should have read the warning, and that if she had, she would have realized that it wouldn't have been smart to do the spell, because then she would have lost her two sisters, which is what ends up happening. And after she abuses the book, like she kind of did during the first movie, the book decides that maybe Winifred's had enough punishments, and she now doesn't have her sisters because of her stupidity. In doing so, they send her to her sisters, who, I forget the afterlife for witches, but I'm pretty sure it's not hell, because that's the Christianized version of it. But I kind of like the ending. I thought it was nice to see Winifred learn her lesson, and she gets to go be with her sisters. The cliffhanger ending with the post-credit scene kind of was confusing until someone mentioned that it was a second black flame candle, and I don't know, it's kind of sequel bait, but I also kind of want to see what they do with it. Maybe it will have something to do with the head witch who was following the three girls in raven form, and maybe she'll be the next antagonist, or she'll be the teacher for the girls. But yeah, I actually really thought there was a decent sequel. Definitely better in my book to the definitely better than the original for me. I think it makes the original a bit better, because now we've got the lore, and now we know why the sisters are hunting children, and we know a little bit more of their backstory, and it definitely makes it a bit better for me. Still one of the cheesiest horror movies I've ever seen. I mean, Halloween movies I've ever seen. But I don't know. This one will definitely be a lot higher on my list. I mean, I'm definitely gonna give it I'm giving it an 8.5 because the problems with how they kind of used Billy and Gilbert as like side characters that didn't really have that much to do other than do a fetch quest. The mayor was kind of an unneeded character. The boyfriend was a decent character, but also just plain stupid, because who can't tell that you're bullying someone if you're making fun of how weird they are? Like, that's common sense. But I kind of get it. And he turned out to be a lot nicer later on. A lot better than the two bullies from the original movie. I love the meta jokes. I love the fish out of water sequences in this movie. Love the Roombas. They were adorable. And other than the small cheesy joke or the watered down jokes, or a few stupid plot lines. This was actually a really good movie, and I definitely recommend it. I mean, am I gonna watch it as much as I watch the rest of the Halloween movies, like Halloween Town, or the original Hocus Pocus, or Nightmare Before Christmas? Maybe, but I wouldn't. But, I mean, for my first viewing of it, it is pretty good, and I kinda hope Disney does something similar with, I don't know, maybe a Halloween Town remake. Maybe, I'm hoping they do better with the Goosebumps, series that they're doing. But yeah, definitely go watch this. If you're a Hocus Pocus fan, you might like it. But if you're new to the whole Hocus Pocus movies, definitely go watch it, because this is, in my opinion, a lot better than the original. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, click the little notification bell for more of our content, and help us get to 500 views, because, again, thank you to all who got us to the 400 milestone, and let's keep it going. Have a great night, guys, and happy Halloween.